Good day, all. So, no on-camera introduction this time. I'm just going to go straight into it. Today's video, another Star Trek set, which if you've looked at the title and the thumbnail, you probably already know this fact. But in case you didn't, it's Star Trek. So what we're looking at today is one of what is probably considered the two lesser Star Trek series, namely Star Trek Enterprise. Now, before we take a closer look at the set, I think when, and obviously the other lesser series is Voyager, the three non-lesser series being the original series, DS9, and the Next Generation. Although out of the two lesser series, the only one that I think I really actively dislike myself is Voyager. Like, Voyager does have its charms, and it has the occasional good episode. But for the most part, I think Voyager was definitely the weak link. And I think it was Voyager that eventually, that was the catalyst for the eventual decline of Star Trek in the early 2000s, leading up to the eventual cancellation of Enterprise in 2005. I don't think this series honestly really had a chance from the start, regardless of what transpired. And this show, I haven't, and I might actually do an in-depth video on Enterprise when I finish the set, but this show I haven't actually watched since 2005. That was the year the DVD releases came out, and that was the year that the show ended. So, a little over 11 years since I've watched this, and to be honest, I don't mind it. I think mainly, like many people, I was pretty much burned out on Star Trek by the time this show came out. But now, when we're looking at it in isolation several years later, without following up directly on Voyager, Seasons 1 and 2 were definitely the weakest. Season 3, although it was somewhat contrived, I thought it was a nice change for the show, and I thought Season 4 was absolutely brilliant. With the third and fourth season, the show had taken a more of a serialized format and had basically a new showrunner running it by Season 4. So I think had it been able to continue the 7 years that had been planned for, I think it could have been considered alongside Deep Space Nine as many people's favorite Star Trek series, but unfortunately that was not to be, and for various reasons, no one or very few people actually watched that final season. I think some episodes even had under 1 million viewers in the United States, which is not good at all for a major network TV series. One thing that I should also note about this set, and we'll take a look at the back, where we've got some of the, I don't even know if they actually listed the extras on here. Ooh, dog hair. Let's take that off. So, no, we have no extras listed, but some of these are actually really telling. I've watched the, it's basically a feature-length interview. One at the, there's a couple of them, but there's one at the beginning of Season 1, one at the beginning of Season 2. Season 1, it's Rick Berman and Brandon Braga talking about really the problems that they had with this show. And a lot of people vilified these two, I think possibly including myself at the time, but you actually come back feeling bad for them. And then, if you're a Star Trek fan, I actually highly recommend watching this interview. It's just a conversation between the two of them, but it's absolutely fascinating. Then in Season 2, there's an interview with the cast and Brandon Braga. Rick Berman is not present, and I think there may have been reasons for that. There's actually a very awkward moment in the interview when it's brought up, why isn't he present? And I think there's still some animosity all these years later. But the show itself, and this seems to have been kind of the way a lot of people have gone with this, or the way they've kind of seen the show. Looking back at the show many years later, be honest, it wasn't that bad. I think we were all just burnt out on Star Trek at the time. Like, it does have its weaknesses. Season 2, actually, in isolation, is particularly bad. The first half of Season 1 and Season 3 and 4 really are not that bad. Voyager, which I've also revisited recently, is a completely different story. And I might do a video I actually did a video on the decline of Star Trek maybe about 5 years ago now, and I never uploaded it just because I didn't want to get into arguments. Somewhere I still have it. Considered uploading it, but I think I might do it all over again. because especially my views on Enterprise have changed a little bit, but my views on Voyager, that's going to be a whole separate video. I'm not even going to include it here, but yeah. So anyways, so on a brighter note, so we're going to look at the set itself. So this is obviously the Blu-ray release, came out last week. And this is just it's kind of like the Next Generation set was. It's a collection of all the previous releases when the seasons were released separately along with Star Trek The Next Generation. And with these, unlike the original series, DS9, and even the animated series, the quality is not at the same level as the Next Generation remasters. I think basically what this was, because if you're aware, if you're not aware, Enterprise was shot in high definition from the beginning. In fact, it was aired in high definition starting in 2001. It was I think it was airing in 720p, maybe in 720i. But yeah, it was it aired in high definition for like the 5 people that could watch high definition at the time. So it's been high definition from the beginning. There was no need to redo effects or anything like that. And really what it seems to be is just a straight transfer of the original HD masters, which I'm not going to say it's terrible. It's definitely better than the DVD releases, but the colors are soft. The picture itself is soft. There does seem to be some artifacting and digital noise. So it's not terrible, but it definitely could have been better. And I should say it also obviously includes all the special features from, as far as I know, the special features from the DVD releases, which I still have, which actually are these really cool plastic cases. I think I've shown those in updates before, many years ago. But yeah, so it's just basically just really cheap slipcase. And then in there we've got the same type of massive digipack case that we had with the Next Generation. If we look inside, same idea. The discs themselves can be removed, or the disc tray, which actually makes it a lot easier getting discs out. In terms of what the discs themselves look like, well, they're all the same for all Star Trek Blu-ray releases. Just really boring blue, really. I think they could have done something more with that. And then in here, we've got basically episode listings. The other half is French, so since this is an English language video, we're going to look at the English side. In Canada, if you don't know, yes, we get everything bilingual, and the cases look, or all the packaging looks very crammed as a result. But if you can, I don't know, I'll let you zoom in on that. But anyway, so that's a listing of all the episodes and extras and various things. Something's reflecting. Oh no, it's just the case. Alright, cool. So, that is Star Trek Enterprise. We'll just zoom back out. And I think, if I showed the back of this, yeah, so the back of that is basically just the same as the back of the case. Relatively speaking, just this one has the barcode on it. So, that is Star Trek Enterprise on Blu-ray. And at some point in the near future, I'm going to do a full video just talking about how I've really reevaluated Star Trek Enterprise, and probably another video detailing why I probably dislike Voyager even more than I did when it originally aired. And yes, I know I did buy Voyager on DVD, and really was going over this. This was 2014, so 13 years ago. I think it was mainly for completion's sake, and they were hell of expensive at the time. I probably would not do that now. But I think it was really when going through those DVD sets is when I realized really just how bad Voyager was. I was just frankly bored most of the time. I never even finished them. But anyways, I'm starting to rant, so I'm going to stop my rant. So anyways, as always, everyone, thank you for watching. Have a great day.